Hello everyone. Am I audible and visible? This is Sankal, by the way. Good morning, good evening. How you guys are doing? Can anyone just be kind enough to say a yes if they are able to hear me out in the chats, I mean? Okay. Yep, I can see few yeses. So yeah, so that means we are live and yeah, everyone is able to hear me. And yeah, so how is it going for you guys? So how is Sunday going so far? I'm just trying to take a look in the chats. Okay. Hey, Akhil. Yeah, it's going great for you. Nice. What is your plan for the evening, Akhil, by the way? Mm-hmm. Mohammad Nishad says great. Nice. Yeah, so currently we are basically 15 folks. Just feel free to, drop your thoughts on the chat. Just don't be a shy person. Okay, Akhil, maybe going for a movie. Oh, nice. Sounds like yeah, everything. Sounds like a plan for the evening. Okay, so folks are joining. I can see 18 folks in the live stream now. All right. And what about others? I can just see, Mohammed and Akhil says that the Sunday is going great so far, and Akhil says that he has a plan for a movie. And what about other folks? The remaining 14, 15 folks. No plans? Okay. Uh, all right. Seems like everyone is, since it is like Sunday is going to be over, so pretty much everyone is, already trying to feel the, gist of a Monday, coming Monday, preparing for college exams. Okay. Samyak has just said. Okay, Mahi is saying that at work. Okay, so you're working in the Sundays as well? Okay. Okay, so Samyak, like which semester are you in? Oh, I see. I got you, Mahi. Yeah, yeah. I can feel the pain of it, server, since you're a server admin. So yeah, totally agree on that. Okay. So it is 4:05, and maybe we can get started, and then everyone can like follow up on their plans post the session. So yeah, so greetings everyone. I hope you guys are doing extremely well and having an amazing Sunday so far. So this is Sankal and welcome to the live stream. So in case you are new to the channel and don't know about Cloud Clan, so I would like to give an introduction on the same. So Cloud Clan is basically a community where we conduct boot camps on DevOps tools, including Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, etc. So just feel free to check us out on LinkedIn. And also I'll be dropping the link for our LinkedIn page and our website in the comment section. So do feel free to check us out. So with that being said, I would like you to welcome everyone once again on the Cloud Clan CI/CD free workshop marathon series. So as couple of folks who may have joined our previous stream might be aware what this entire series is all about. So today is the second day of the workshop from this series that we are just hosting on YouTube as a live stream. So last Sunday we took a look at the GitLab CI and CD delivered by Akhil, who is also in the chat right now, who is in our live stream. So it was a such an informative session. I mean, it was too much like theoretical, including a lot of hands-on as well. So that was a super session delivered by Akhil, and I would highly encourage in case you have missed the workshop, so you can just find the link to that particular session here somewhere down in our YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out, and yeah, subscribe to this channel in case you don't want to miss any further similar workshop in the future. So today we are going to cover how to create pipelines in CircleCI and what the end-to-end workflow looks like in CircleCI. So today's workshop will be delivered by one of the co-founders, who is Akshay, who is very a close friend of mine as well. So a little bit about Akshay. So he is an experienced DevOps engineer working at Rubrik, and he has worked in multi-cloud, like deployments, migrations, observability, and also he hold multiple certification, including GCP ACE, that Associate Cloud Engineer, AWS Solution Architect, RH CSA, and a lot many others. So that's a ton, I believe. So yeah, and he's also highly skilled in creating production grade like pipelines using CircleCI, and architecting solutions on cloud. So with that being said, welcome Akshay, welcome to this session, and do share us like today some light on the concepts of CircleCI. So to the audience, I would I would like to make a request that in case you have any questions about CircleCI as the session progresses, just feel free to drop your questions on the chat, and we would be happy to take them on the Q&A session that is, waiting at the very end. So, yeah, so without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Akshay. So, over to you, Akshay. Akshay, you are on mute.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sankal, for the introduction. Let me share my screen. So, hi everyone. So, today we'll be going over the Circle CI workshop. So, I'll be presenting it. So, I'll just give a quick overview about myself. So, my name is Akshay Suresh. I work at Rubrik as a DevOps engineer, and I'm also the co-founder of CloudClan. Previously, I worked as a senior DevOps engineer at Hashton by Deloitte. These are few of my certifications I've done in the past. So, I think like we can get started with what is really CI/CD. I know that there are freshers who would be coming in who might not really know what is CI/CD. I know like for professionals, you guys would obviously know, but I just wanted everybody to be in the same page. So I just wanted to explain what is CI/CD. So yeah, coming to CI/CD, we actually used to do manual deployments. to production before we actually had proper automated CI/CD. So how it actually used to happen was we had developers push their code to GitHub. Then there would be an ops team that would manually do a unit test, do a code coverage, maybe do a Docker build, and then deploy to Kubernetes. I mean, this is again a sample workflow, but the idea is most of the things were done manually, which would lead to human errors. And then since it's manual, it will take more time for the code to go to production. So releasing features and everything would take more time. But currently, on the era of agile and faster delivery, we can't go with this. So what we have actually developed is automated CI/CD practice. So in an automated CI/CD process, you can actually think that there is an robot that is automating the whole process. So the developers would basically push the code to GitHub. After that, every step that is taken into place would be done automatically. There would be some manual interventions, but almost everything would be done automatically so that there wouldn't be any human errors or any manual, like a little bit of manual intervention would be there, but mostly it would be automated. So that way, the companies can actually deliver the code and the features much more faster compared to the older approach. So for us, who is our robot? In a previous slide, the robot basically used to automate the process. So for us, the robot would be tools like Jenkins, CircleCI, and GitLab CI. So these tools would run couple of jobs that are automated. So whenever uh, code is committed to GitHub, automatically these tools would be triggered. That would be running couple of predefined jobs uh, on your code, and then it will deploy to production. So now for today's session, we'll be focusing more on CircleCI. So I'll just give an introduction about CircleCI. So CircleCI is a CI/CD platform that is basically SaaS that is used by multiple companies worldwide. It is one of the top CI/CD tools used currently. And the what I actually use CircleCI before in my companies, and what I really like about CircleCI is the ease at which you can actually create configurations for CircleCI. So the user experience is like really good when it comes to CircleCI when you compare with tools like Jenkins. And then there is less of operational overhead. And this would be our demo pipeline that we would be creating today. So for this session, we wanted to focus more on hands-on rather than on theory, so you guys can understand better. So what we'll be creating is the flow would be developers would be committing the code to GitHub. Then there would be a CircleCI pipeline that is integrated with GitHub that will get triggered automatically without any manual intervention. Then automatically a Docker build would be running, and security is a key when it comes to DevOps. So we are actually checking the vulnerability. If there are any security vulnerability in your Docker image, Aquatree would be scanning that, and if it is passed, then there would be an approval process. Uh, and after the approval process is done, it will automatically push the image to ECR, that is Elastic Container Registry in AWS. So this is the pipeline that would be created today as part of the workshop. And through this pipeline, I will be explaining you the main features of CircleCI. So for this demo, I've created a GitHub project, I mean GitHub repository, where I have a sample Flask application. It's just a Hello World application that it will print out. And you guys can see the Docker file here. I will be sharing the code once the session is over. And then once the application is running, it will be running on 5000 port. So to integrate with CircleCI, what you will have to do is you can just click on. Okay, I'm already logged in. Let me sign out. You have to click on login with GitHub. So this is mostly what people use to log in. And if you log in with this, automatically your CircleCI would be integrated with all the repositories that you have access to. Authorizing it. So this is the dashboard, the UI of your CircleCI. And here you can see the name of the user and the organization. Here there is dashboard. So let's say in your organization there are multiple projects or multiple repositories having pipelines. So all of it, their status, their workflows, how much time it took for them to run, everything would be showed up here. So when you have a bigger, when you are part of a bigger organization, if you want to see the latest updates of your pipelines, you can go to the dashboard and see. And you can also double down on like which projects you have to choose. Currently it's all projects. If you just want to check the pipeline status for a particular project, you can choose here. The next thing, okay, projects I'll come to later. Next is insights. So insights is a dashboard that will show you all the metrics related to your pipeline. This could be, let's say, your organization wants to check the performance of your software delivery. So there is a metrics called like MTTR is there. There is deployment frequency. So there are multiple metrics that CircleCI would be showing, through which you can evaluate and understand whether your engineering team is really doing a good job or not. So right now, since it's a new project, you are not seeing any insight. But let's say you work on this for a month or so, you'll be getting more insights about your pipeline duration and everything. So this is the organization settings. Your each organization would have an organization ID. For us, organization name would be Cloud Clan itself. Then there is context. Context is basically if your project, a couple of projects share the same environment variable, you can create it in one context itself, and it can be consumed by multiple projects in CircleCI pipeline. Then VCS is again like GitHub. This is security, and one thing you'll notice is when you are using CircleCI initially, if you are using a third party orb, again I'll come to orb later, but just an FYI, if you are using a third party orb, CircleCI by default would stop you from using it. So you'll have to click on yes here under security, so that it will allow you to like consume orbs from uh, third party authors. There are self-hosted runners. So let's say there is a scenario. I mean, this is a typical scenario where anyway CircleCI is a SaaS tool, and you would your organization or your security team is saying that you would want your deployment to be done inside your network itself, inside your company network. So what you could do is you can deploy a self-hosted VM or a pod inside your company network. Could be an AWS account itself. You can deploy it under your own VPC, so that all the commands, all the environment variables, everything would be hosted under your company network itself. So this is the use case of self-hosted runner. Now here in plans, you can see your current plan. So for me, it is like free, but for organizations, it will be enterprise level. And this is also one thing you have to note, that is the CircleCI status page. So let's say your pipeline is not working. You can go to this status page and see whether there is any issues in the components of CircleCI. So they'll be posting updates here. Yeah, this is basically the walkthrough of the UI of CircleCI. Now coming to projects, which is the main thing we'll be using. So here under projects, you can see repositories. So projects and repositories, you can consider the same. And here you can see there are like 3 projects that I have, and 2 of it already has a pipeline, one doesn't. So it is asking me to set up a project, basically to set up a pipeline. So I can click on this. So this is the same repository I've shown before, the same repository. And I can. There are 3 ways. So how CircleCI defines its pipeline is, in your repository you have to create a .circleci folder, under which you have to create a file by the name config.yaml. Under that you have to put in all the declarative configuration of your pipeline. So there are 3 ways to do it. One is like if you already have this file inside your repository, CircleCI can detect it if you provide the branch. Right now I don't have it with me. Then the other 2 approaches, it will only create a config.yaml for me that I can edit. So I'm going with the fast approach. Set a project. And so it's showing me a couple of sample pipeline templates I can use. So let's say I'm going with hello world. This pipeline, what it will do is it will just echo hello world in the pipeline logs. So there are like few, this is the main template of your pipeline where you have version. This is the CircleCI pipeline process engine version. It's 2.1 by default. Then you have jobs. So jobs is where you define what all jobs needs to be run inside your pipeline. So let's say you have Docker build, that is one job. You have a scan, Aquatrivy scan, that is second job. You have a job to push to VCR, that would be a third job. So you can define all of it here. So currently we are only having one job, that is say hello. It is using a Docker image, that is this one. Again, this is an image from CircleCI itself. And it will be, so what will happen is when the pipeline runs and this job is triggered, it will run all the steps inside this. So first is a checkout. So checkout, basically what it will do is it will download the code from GitHub inside this image, inside the container that is running this image, and it will run these commands. So it will echo hello world. If I do commit and run, my first pipeline is triggered, and here it will show me it only took 7 seconds. Sorry, it took 6 seconds, and it was started 15 seconds ago. It will show me the branch where it was triggered. So it was in this branch, and it will show me the commit. This is the commit ID, and then the commit message. If I click on workflow, this is the job that we triggered. And here I can see the logs, what all were run inside this. It will show me. So there are, right now it is showing 4 steps. One is spinning up the environment. So spinning up the Docker image, as I said, the CIMG based table image, it has downloaded. After that, there are a couple of default environment variables that CircleCI gives us. So that is prepared here. It is shown here. After that, again, as I said, there is a checkout step added next, and that the Git repository that is integrated with it is basically checked out here. After that is done, the say hello step is executed. Here you can see that hello world is printed. And click on branch, and if I want to edit the config again, there is an option here, and if I want to trigger the pipeline, I can click on here. I want to edit it. If I want to create a new job, one more job, similar job, I will just copy this. And one good thing about this UI is that if you are making some mistakes, it will show you that, see here, the thing is both the job is having the same name. Say hello, say hello. I can just change it to say cloud plan. That should fix the error. Will show that there is no errors. I'll say, if you see, there are two jobs, say hello and then say cloud plan. Committing the changes, click on the project. It has run, but it has only run say hello job. We'll see why it has not run the new job that we have created. We'll go to edit config. There is a component called workflow inside this config. What it will do is, which all job you want to run inside the workflow, you have to define it here. So the first job is already defined. So there is some, it's not updating the new one that I've added. I'm gonna directly edit in GitHub. If I refresh it here, since I've already committed, it is showing .CircleCI inside that config.yaml. I can either edit it directly here, or I can edit it in this UI IDE. Both of it is there, and if I want to run this one also, I can copy the name of it. So once I commit this one, as part of the workflow, both the jobs should be triggered. A new pipeline is triggered. Now you can see both the jobs are triggered. Say hello and say cloud plan. Here it is showing hello cloud plan. This is the concept of jobs and workflow in a high level. If let's say you want to make it an environment variable, you can just put this as $simple. Let's say we'll give name, environment variable name, and I can save and run. Here you'll see that since I haven't passed the value, since I haven't passed the value for name, it's not printing out anything. To pass in the value, I can go to project settings. There is environment variable, add environment variable, and type name, and just say the value as AKS. Now if I trigger the pipeline, it will show hello AKS because it's taking the environment variable value here. So this is how you can pass in environment variable inside your pipeline. Just give me 1 minute. Now we'll start with the demo pipeline. I believe you understand the workflow here. First, we'll start with the Docker build. Just removing this. Now we'll start with the demo pipeline. Now, how there is one concept of orb in CircleCI where it will have like packages that would have already that already has some installed dependencies. Let's say you want to do a Docker build, the orb would already have that like some templates that would already have Docker in place. You can see here, click on Docker build option. I'm just giving the name as task app. I'll give a tag also as latest. Here it will show me what all config I will be needing to add for adding a Docker build step. Can copy the complete thing. Changing the name of the job to Docker build. Now under step, I'll have to add one remote Docker executor that would already have Docker pre-installed. And I want this job to check out my GitHub code. giving me an error because I've defined say cloud client under the workflow. There is some issue in the UI. I let it in GitHub directly. Here, if you see this say cloud client, I have removed as a job. That's why it was giving me an error. Instead, I'll add Docker build job. Now the issue is, as I said, we were using orb. I haven't defined an orb here. So if you define an orb only, then it will pick it up. This I'll have to add on top. Whichever orb you are using, you'll have to add it here. You have to save and run. Now it is triggering two build. One is say hello, and then the other one is Docker build. Docker build would be checking out your code. Here you can see the logs of it. It is checking out the code from GitHub, and then it is doing a Docker build. So Docker build is complete. Let's say you want to verify it. We can add one more job. That is run. Okay, what this step would be doing is after Docker build is run, this command would be run Docker images, so we can actually see whether the image is created or not to verify. So here as part of the job, it is spinning up the environment, container environment, again preparing the environment variable that is created by CircleCI. Then Docker build is done, And once that's done, we are actually verifying whether the image is created or not. You can see that there is an image created, Flask app, and then the tag is latest. If we go to our workflow, currently Docker build, this step is done. We have created a Docker build, which would check out the code and then build a container image out of it. Now the next thing is scanning the image. So AquaTrivy is a security tool that we use where we can actually scan the image if there are any vulnerabilities in the dependencies in your image. You can just search AquaTrivy CircleCI, pick the first option, and here it will show you the commands that needs to be run. Scoping this. We wouldn't need this. Just giving sudo for permission. And how the Trivy command works is you can just type Trivy and image and the name of the image. So for us, the image that is created locally is Flask app. Here you can see that two steps are added. That is installing Trivy. So Trivy binary is installed here, and the scan has been done by Trivy. It is showing that there is, uh, based on the severity, there is one high severity issue on Flask, and you'll have to update the package. And you can also put in couple of parameters in the Trivy command, so that if let's say there are vulnerabilities found, it will give an exit code as 1, so that it will fail. This job would fail, and then the next it wouldn't pass to the next job. Docker build is done. We also scan the Docker image with AquaTrivy. Now, approval will come to later. We can directly move to ECR, pushing the image to ECR. So for ECR also, we can use orb that are predefined. You can Click on automate common task with orbs. Here you can search for common orbs. I want to use ECR. Will show me the official one from AWS itself. And these are the parameters I'll need to pass on to it. And I have created already a repository inside my AWS account under repository. It's not showing up here. Okay, I'll create one. Creating a repository by the name Cloudland Demo. Repository name would be Cloudland Demo. And I can preview the snippet that is generated. This is the orb that I'll be using. Copying this. I don't pass it in the net, the job would be failing. Name the job as push to ECR. Here also, since it's building the image, I would need to add remote Docker. Save and run. This job would obviously fail because I'm not giving any access key or secret key for like CircleCI to push the image to ECR. It's not picking up the new job that we've created inside the workflow because we haven't mentioned it. Already failed since we are not giving the access key ID and secret key. There are few parameters we'll have to add in. That how to get it, you can just search Google CircleCI PCR on the org. So here you want to add in couple of environment variables, that is AWS access key ID, secret access key, the region, AWS region where your repository is hosted, and AWS ECR register ID. I copy this. I can go to projects. I can go to project settings, environment variable, add an environment variable with this name. And the value of it I can get it from ECR. So this is my registry ID. Next is the region. Region would be US hyphen East hyphen 2. Now I'll be adding the environment variables. I'll stop sharing my screen for 1 minute. Once I'll add it, I'll start sharing.
Yep, sure, Akshay. Yeah. So meanwhile, Akshay is adding environment variables. So in case anyone have any questions so far, so just feel free to drop uh, them down in the chats, and also have shared the link of our website, and also like link to the Akshay's LinkedIn profile. So just you can, just feel free to send a connection request to him in case you want to follow up on on anything, on any topics like involving DevOps. So yeah, so everything is dropped in the chat. Just feel free to check uh, it out. And yeah, so meanwhile, you can just, let us know in the comments, like, how are you feeling about this session? So yeah, just feel free to drop your thoughts down in the chat. We would be happy to hear you out. So is it fast? Is it slow? Too technical? Or too naive? So any thoughts would be really appreciated to the folks who are listening me over the live stream right now. Okay, so Akshay is back. Akshay, you are on mute.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm audible, right?
Yes,
Hello.
you're audible. Yep, you
Okay.
are.
All right. So what I have done is in project settings under environment variables, I have added the access key ID, ECR register ID, region, and secret access key. This would give CircleCI the permission to upload your image to ECR. Going to trigger the pipeline now, and it will be picking up my environment variables. This is the job that we have defined push to ECR. Now I think it's in success. Build image and push is done. You can verify it by going to the repository. You can see that one is pushed. So this is how you can push an image to ECR via CircleCI. Now the thing is under workflow, if you see, we actually want it to go in a sequential mode. As in after you create a Docker image and then Aquatree scans it, after that it should push to ECR. But right now, both the jobs are triggered at the same time. None is dependent on each other. In our workflow, it is like after Docker build is done, then Trivy should be scanned. Trivy should scan the image, and after that, ECR job should be triggered. So to do that, you can edit the config, can scroll down to the bottom to your workflow, and you want, let's say you want to start off with Docker build. So Docker build would be your job one. Job two could be push to ECR. Here you can say requires this job, Docker build. Yeah, so parameter require, what it will do is the push to ECR job would only be triggered if Docker build job is completed. If it is not completed, if it is failing, push to ECR job would not run. Now I am saving and running. New workflow is triggered. Now you can see that Docker build is running now. Once Docker build is finished, then only push to ECR job would be triggered. And here in preparing environment variables, you can see the environment variables we have passed in. These are the default environment variables CircleCI provides. These are some that we have added customly. Access key ID, secret access key, register ID, and region. Now the job depends, this job would be dependent on the completion of this job. Now, if you see the workflow, Docker build we have created, Aquatree scan is done, ECR is also done. Now we need an approval step. To add the approval, you have to go to the config, go to the workflow, just say hello, we don't want it to run, and just type hold, and define the type, approval. This should require push to ECR to be, sorry, Docker build to be completed. Here I'll change it to hold. So first Docker build would be running. Hold would be requiring Docker build to complete. Once hold is completed, then push to ECR was like waiting for hold to complete. Once that is done, push to ECR would be like that job would be initialized. Saving and running. You can see it's sequential. Once Docker build is done, then there is an approval process. After that, it is pushed to ECR. Again, this is just a demo pipeline. This is not the best practice. I've just added this to make you guys understand this feature also. Now Docker build is done. Now push to ECR is not triggered because the hold job, if I click on it, it is asking me for approval. If I approve this, the next job would be triggered. Now this is approved, it's completed. Now push to ECR would start. As you can see, the image is also pushed, and we have completed the whole workflow for the demo pipeline. Now, as in the project settings, as you have the environment variable, you also have context inside organization setting. As I've told in the starting of our workshop, I've said that like if you have some environment variable that is consumed by multiple projects, you can store it in context, so you don't really have to repeat in each project. How to add context also I can show. Here in your workflow, you can say define here. It will already show me context, and I can give the context name. So what all environment variable is added in that context would be consumed by this job. And another option is filters. So filter, what it will do is, if you want this particular job to be only run inside a branch, let's say in dev only, then you can type filters, then branch, and then you can provide to which all branches this job should be triggered. So that way you can segregate based on branches also. Yeah, that's all from me. If anybody has any questions, you can type out in the chat.
All right. Uh, yep. Thank you, Akshay, for the wonderful session on Circle CI. So just wanted to call out that the slides were really amazing and the overall walkthrough on the Circle CI was quite lucid. So yeah, I hope it is like everyone here in the live stream must have felt the same. So yeah, so now we'll open the floor for any questions. So I can see that few of the folks were having question, and I just try to address them, like address their questions. So in case do you have any question, like any further question for Akshay, just feel free to drop them down in the chat. Otherwise, we are good to wind up. Okay, so Akhil is giving just, a shout out to you, Akshay, that it was a fabulous session. So yeah, thank you, Akhil.
Thank you, Agar.
All right. So Aravind has given you a thumbs up, Akshay. Thank you, Mohammed Nishad. Okay, so Silent Gamer, today interesting session. Thank you. So yeah, okay. Seems like folks are not sleeping in the live stream. They are just, they just humbly listening to you, Akshay, and they really enjoyed. So I'm pretty sure that everyone has got, something fruitful out of today's session. So yeah, okay. So Akshay, Soumya Modak is thanking you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so Sabir is also here. Thanks, Sabir. Okay, I don't feel like there are any other further questions. So yeah, so in case anyone, do you have any questions, just feel free to, reach out to Akshay. I've shared the LinkedIn profile of Akshay. Just feel free to, connect with him and ask in case of any, further clarifying question you are having. And yeah, make sure uh, you subscribe to our channel and so that you don't miss any further notification for our future sessions that we are going to have. And yeah, okay. So Silent Gamer has just asked a question that suggest any mini project to try.
Yeah, so I'll be actually providing the materials that we've used right now in our GitHub. I'll be sharing the links. You can actually try out the workflow that I have showed. Apart from that, I'll also mention a couple of GitHub repositories for sample Circle CI projects. You can actually use that for hands-on practice.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Akshay. That will really help. So yeah, I mean that's a very good suggestion. So we will be sharing our all the slides and also this video will be published to the YouTube. So yeah, just make sure whatever Akshay has taught today, so you try to replicate the same setup in your account. And yeah, in case you're stuck, you can always rewatch the video. And if you have further questions, you can just reach out to Akshay. And yeah, this is the thing which you can consider as a mini project or like on the topic of Circle CI. So okay, so I feel we are good. So everybody is thanking us. So yeah, so last but not the least, it was nice interacting with everyone here over the live stream. And thanks everyone for joining and have a great rest of your Sunday. So yeah, bye. See you soon again, folks, here in YouTube. So bye. Bye everyone. Good evening and have a great rest of your Sunday.